Hello, this is Go Ballistic on the Scottish SunSport YouTube channel, and after last weekend's Super Sunday in the Scottish Premiership, it was an arguably even more Super Sunday this Sunday as the drama just kept on coming in the title race, and with all said and done, a very good weekend for Hearts and indeed Motherwell, with both Rangers and Celtic faltering. Oh yeah, and a fair bit of VAR chaos to get through as well. Joining me as ever, it's Roger Hanna, Head of Sport here. And as you can see, Kris Boyd is physically with us this week. I think you're trying to overtake Ali McCoist as the busiest man in football of the places you've been this week.
None of us will get near Chris Sutton though.
Ah, true. Maybe get him in here as well, what do you think? No?
Oh, he's a
See
rival.
too much? He's a bit of a rival, isn't he? Probably, but...
Too busy mediating between Brian Wilson and the Green Brigade.
Well, yeah.
Well, he's trying to set that up.
So we'll get on to Celtic for that matter shortly, but let's mention Hearts first of all then. As I said there, cracking weekend for them. Couldn't have really gone much better. 4 points clear now, 10 games for them to go. Is it now their title to lose, Boydie?
Well, I think if they win every game, then they obviously win the league. They've got themselves in a fantastic position. They have also got that buffer. They can afford to drop some points. The rest can't. You look at the Old Firm game come the weekend, the loser of that for me is out it. I look at the winner, or whoever, both of them going to the game having to win just to keep in contact with Hearts, because I think they'll beat Aberdeen on Saturday as well. It's another home game. You go back to a couple of weeks ago when there was a lot of fans out there having a go at Derek McInnes. It was a case of he's cracking under the pressure. Look at him. He must be the only manager in world football that's cracking under the pressure for stating facts, because the facts are his team have been at the top of the table now for a number of months. His team have bounced back from any setback they've had. They've gone on a magnificent run since they've been at the top. There's been performances in there where they've had setbacks, but they've answered the critics. And you've got to say, I don't think it was the best performance at the weekend, but performances don't really matter at this stage of the season. It's getting results, and it's another 3 points. It's another clean sheet as well at Tynecastle at the weekend. Still the only team in the top flight that's undefeated at home in the league. And I do think they're going to be very difficult to stop. There's been times where you look at Derek and, as I said, there's been people criticising him, there's been people asking, going on about, he's cracking, the pressure's getting to him and everything. I don't think that's been the case.
It's a perfect weekend. Derek would have looked at next weekend and think it's a chance for Hearts, because they should beat Aberdeen at home, as you say, Boyd, and something will give at Ibrox in the Old Firm game. I don't think he would have expected so much to give yesterday. Rangers dropping points at Livy, almost dropping all 3 points at Livy, but for the late comeback, and Hibs doing Hearts a title favour. First win at Celtic Park in 16 years.
Incredible, yeah.
The goal of a third this century.
Yeah, it's
incredible.
It is incredible. So, a great weekend for Hearts. If they keep doing the business, if they win at Aberdeen, even if it's a scrappy 1-0 as it was against Falkirk at the weekend, they'll be 7 points clear before Rangers and Celtic meet on Sunday. And, Boydie's right. Whoever loses that faces a real uphill struggle to stay in the title race.
Let's go on to those slip-ups then. We'll start with the game you were at yesterday in Livingston, that 2-2 draw, as Roger just mentioned, Rangers losing that one until that very, very late comeback. How disastrous a slip-up was that for Rangers, especially when you consider what they did last week?
I think it would be slight concerning for Danny Rowe. The away form. I mean, it's now 3 games in a row that Rangers have failed to win. I think if you look at the previous 2 and the weekends that it happened, you could say, yeah, good point. But I think when you look at them overall, especially when you add the Livingston game into it, Rangers have got to be going there. They've got to be going to Livingston and winning that game. That's no disrespect. I know they're fighting for their life. There's a reason why Livingston are bottom of the table. They've not won a game of football since the 9th of August. And you've got to say, I mean, yeah, Rangers had loads of the ball. They created loads of chances. But there wasn't many clear-cut chances. It wasn't as if they were knocking the door. And for me, I think you've got to be going to those places and winning.
Jerome Prior has made some really good
saves.
saves.
Some good saves, but it's not as if
Romans has hit the post.
The Chimiti one's the only one I thought. See the one when it bounces, that's a sitter.
Yeah, they did create chances. Defensively, I think they're beginning to wobble a little bit. The goal they lost at Motherwell late on against 10 men, there was a couple of other alarms sounding there. But yesterday, not just the finishes by Kabongolo and Smith, which were good finishes, good goals. John Souttar doesn't need to concede either free kick. Either free kick. And that's where the problems started for Rangers. They've got Sterling out for a period of time now. Romans has started okay. Fernandes is what Fernandes is. A danger in both boxes. Souttar's supposed to be the sort of mainstay at the back. I didn't think he looked clever yesterday.
What you're saying there, Roger, is as well with the free kick. I think if you're going to go zonal, you need to be tight and compact. You have to be. And yes, people can get around the backy, but I think you can then deal with that as a second phase. Whereas like, if there's gaps in the middle of your goal where it ends up, it's a terrific finish. I mean, I don't think Kabongolo will catch it. It's a great finish. But if you're looking at and analysing it from a Rangers point of view, when you're saying, listen, we need to go here, get 3 points, you've got to be strong defensively.
Go back to source though, you don't concede that.
No, 100%. But you've still got a chance to rectify that when it comes into your box. And again, they become unstuck there, as they did at Motherwell as well. And you look at the second one for me as well. I know Nico Raskin has cleared the ball and then he's went charging straight away to go and close it down. But you've got to identify that in the left. Terrific finish, great pass, terrific finish. But you can't just steam out and vacate and leave that area there.
The thing is, well, great plaudits for Scott Fry since he came to the football club for attacking set pieces, goals scored from corners and free kicks. Surely a set piece coach, part of it must be defending set pieces as well. Yeah, I mean,
listen, as I said, for me, the first one, the free kick coming in, if you're going to go zonal, you can't. If you're zonal, there we go. You can touch the person next to you. There was big gaps through the middle of that Rangers defence, and when it got to the back post, take nothing away. It's a fantastic strike. There's no getting away from it, but it could have been preventable, and that would be the thing that would worry Danny Rowe. And the exact same at Motherwell. Motherwell down to 10 men. They're still able to get balls in the Rangers box. They're still able to get not only their head on the first phase, the second phase. And if you go back to it just before that, what do you call the big boy that scored for Motherwell, the 5th goal? At St Mirren. He had the header. He had the header against Rangers just before he has the header back across for Welsh's goal. So I think that the warning signs were there for Rangers at Motherwell, and especially yesterday at Livingston. For me, if you're going to be zonal, you can't allow people to get through the middle of those zones, and that's exactly what happened. Saying that, terrific strike.
It's a high liner problem, do you think, in those as well? Because if you don't get that spot on, you're going to naturally allow somebody to get in behind you. I
think you then look at it. For me, if you're going to be that high line, you've still got to drop a couple of yards. But if you've already dropped by the time the kicker takes it, you're then dropping towards the 6-yard box. So Rangers, the line was good to start with, but then you've got to take that 2 yards, which then takes you to the 18-yard box. And I think we touched on that yesterday, that if you drop that 2 yards, you're still seeing the ball in front of you.
Yep.
But they didn't drop, and then all of a sudden their body position is running back towards their own goal. And that would be an issue. I think the starting line was fine. But once he then goes to plant his foot to kick it, I think you then need to drop 2 yards and then you can run onto it and header it. Whereas if Rangers, that's what Rangers should have done, they didn't, and then all of a sudden when the ball comes in, they're then running back towards their own goal, and anything can happen then. You've then got a striker, I think it was Chimiti, it was at that back post area. And I always look at strikers, especially in key, because I think Romans was outside him as well. He should have been inside him, and Chimiti. I always think when you've got strikers back, very rarely do they switch on defensively and concentrate fully on clearing that ball, because even when you get it, I mean, I've been there, you're back and you think, there's the majority of, for example, if it's yesterday, the majority of Livingston teams in your half, if we can get this ball and counter-attack, you've got a chance of scoring goals. That is a striker's mindset. So they switch off defensively, and that's exactly what happened, and they were punished. But what a strike it was.
Yeah. Away from the tactics, Roger, Rangers teams in recent years, many of them in the last decade, face these accusations of not having the mentality when it gets to this time of the season. I think Danny Rule felt last week a lot of those questions of this team might have been answered. But did that show yesterday that this team maybe does still have a problem with the mentality?
It's something that Danny Rule doesn't like discussed, but it will be discussed until Danny Rule can put some silverware on the table and say there is tangible proof that this team has the character for a run-in at the end of the season. They haven't won anything under him. They haven't won anything for a period of time. They certainly haven't won anything with this squad of players together, Jonathon. So the accusations will continue to be levelled when they produce performances like yesterday. When they blow it against 10 men, Motherwell at Fir Park, when they go to Easter Road and don't win. The questions are legitimate, and they will continue, as I say, until this group of players and that manager can silence them by providing some kind of silver. That might be a league title, it might be a Scottish Cup this season, it might be something next season, you don't know. The next 2 Sundays might go a long way to dictating that.
I think on that as well, though, if you ask Danny Rule for Rangers to go to Livingston next week and put in the same performance, from an attacking sense, I think he would take it. I mean, it's 31, 32 shots, attempts on goal. Yeah. The bigger question for me would be, why are these chances not being converted? As I said, I don't think there was many clear-cut opportunities. The Chimiti one, the Romans header, there was a couple of other opportunities around it, but in the final third, I still think Rangers are lacking that killer instinct. I look at Chimiti, we're speaking there about 31, 32 chances, whatever. How many of them were actually the Rangers' number 9?
Yeah.
How many fell to him? And for me, when you're at a team at the bottom of the league, you've got to be that man that's saying, get the ball in this area and I'll do, that's your piece of the jigsaw.
There's a spell in the first half at 1-0 where Prior's only saves have come from the 2 Rangers fullbacks. Tavernier and Romans.
Yeah. And if you go in there and creating that amount of opportunities, I think from an attacking sense, Danny Rule will be happy enough. Yes, defensively we lost 2 goals, but if you're creating that amount of chances, then you would expect it to end up the back of the net. But the reality is, it didn't. It took Rangers to scramble towards the end to get something. I thought terrific strike from Fernandes, great header from Mikey Moore as well, just drifting in there. But I think from. And I'm not just going to go at Chimiti here. I think whoever is in that number 9 jersey, well, not Chimiti wears it, but whoever is the central striker for Rangers, they've got to be doing more.
You mentioned Mikey Moore there. Let's get to it then. That big instant at the very end of the game, Mikey Moore bursting through, wiped out by Cammy Kerr. I think we can all agree it was a certain foul. Referee didn't see it that way. VAR then doesn't intervene. What on earth should the outcome have been there?
Well, it's not a penalty. I mean, I'm listening to some people continuously are saying it's a penalty. It's not a penalty. It's not even. If the penalty had been given on the field, it would have been overturned because it's outside the box. I keep hearing people speaking about, but the last contact's in the box. It doesn't matter. It's the initial contact. Pulling. If you start pulling outside the box and it goes inside, that will continue. Penalty will be given. Anything else, if the contact's outside the box but continues into it, then it's from the point of contact. So there was no way there was a penalty going to be given, no matter what. The debate, and I can totally understand where a lot of Rangers fans are coming from. Is it a red card? Is it a DOGSO? That's a debate. That is up for debate because I think there's some will say that it is. Personally, I don't think it is. I think there's a couple of defenders in close proximity that could get a challenge in. And I know everybody always finds an angle where you're saying, oh, he's going to get a shot away. But I think, for me, in real time with the speed, I felt as if the Livingston defender, I can't remember exactly who it was at the time, could have got a block in. But this whole thing of a penalty kick, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter if the referee had blown for a whistle. There was no chance of a penalty kick being given.
To answer your question, what should the outcome have been? The outcome should have been a free kick to Rangers outside the box.
Yes.
Yep.
Ryan Lee, the biggest mistake is Ryan Lee missing the foul. Now, that is a major mistake, Ryan Lee missing the foul. I was 80 yards away and you knew it was a foul. I didn't know whether it was inside the box or outside the box. I didn't know whether it was covering defenders, the angle we were at. You could tell it was a foul. So
I think I had the same angle as you, though. I think from our point of view, it looked as if he's just came across the way to it because the ball was still going that way. Yeah. So I think from where he's standing, he might have thought that Cammy Kerr got a touch on that ball to start with.
But if that's the case, it's a poor decision.
No, it is a poor decision.
I think he's in the act of shooting. He's planted his left foot. I think when Cammy Kerr catches him and he is in the act of shooting, I think it's a goal-scoring opportunity. Therefore, there is an argument to send Cammy Kerr off. But I'm willing to say, that's just my opinion. Clearly, the opinion of the VAR official was that it was not denying a goal-scoring opportunity. And the rules are, VAR can't intervene, when the referee hasn't given anything, and it's not a penalty, and it's not a red card, VAR can't get involved, hence play just continue. But I think there's a major issue with Ryan Lee missing that foul. And I think of all of the controversies over the weekend, you've seen penalties at Tannadice, red card up at Pittodrie, you've seen a red card at Celtic Park, you've seen a red card at the Smize on Saturday night. Of all the controversies, I think the one Willie Collum will have most problems with is the fact that Ryan Lee didn't think that was a foul.
Yeah, and then do you think that VAR, the referees, the officials in general have kind of backed themselves into a corner with this DOGSO thing? I think that's a term a lot of people might not even have known a few weeks ago. Now it's everywhere because we're seeing lots of interventions for that offence. You've got Liam Henderson at Falkirk last week being sent off for foul on the halfway line.
Red card.
Does it make... might well have been a red card, but is it not more difficult then to sell that one yesterday as not being a red card?
I think the only one that's up for debate for me, if you're speaking about the ones in the past, would be Olasanya at Aberdeen, because he wasn't in his stride.
The Liam Gordon one in the cup last week, yeah.
And he wasn't in his stride. There was a trip there, it's on the halfway line, there is covering defenders there. But if I go back to him, I think Trusty at Tynecastle, Kabori will get a shot away. I think the one there with Dundee United and Falkirk, he's at full speed, he's knocked it by him, Liam Henderson's brought him down. Yep. I think that one there is the correct decision. Doesn't matter if it's a halfway line or closer to the goal. The Motherwell one, Motherwell at Aberdeen, he slips, doesn't matter, still takes him out. Still wipes him out. It doesn't matter if you slip or not, you've still...
Intent's been taken out of the rules, so I had to go. I'd actually praised referees last week for their consistency on matters like this, because there was Trusty, there was Liam Gordon, there was Yovu of Dundee United, there was Liam Henderson, and Saturday there was Liam Morrison at Aberdeen as well. They had been consistent, and whether you like it or not, their application of the rule meant that it was a red card every time. The Cammy Kerr one is actually the outlier in this now, that the VAR didn't think it was a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. And I think the Rangers fans will be unhappy, because how can Liam Gordon be sent off in the centre circle for taking down Olasanya, but on the edge of the box, 19 yards out, it's not a penalty, you're right, 19 yards out, that's not a goal-scoring opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but the majority of fans are also saying that none of them are red cards. But now, because it backs up what they're saying on Saturday, they want to change their tune and say it. And I totally get it.
Fans will change their tune.
100%.
What I'm saying is, up until Sunday, the referees hadn't changed their tune. Refs had been consistent all the way through in the application of the rule. This was the first time they haven't been.
Look, for me, I could totally understand the debate in terms of whether it's a red card or it's not a red card. I have no issue with that. Mm-hmm. I've still got an issue with people saying that it's a penalty kick. Yeah. Even if the red card had been given, it's still not a penalty kick. Yeah. And that's where a lot of people are getting confused here. It doesn't matter if there was a red card or VAR had went and looked at it. It would have been come back to where the initial contact was made, and it's outside the box.
This just proves what a crazy season it is.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Kris Boyd says it's not a Rangers penalty, and Chris Sutton says it is a Rangers penalty.
There you go. So Hearts, obviously delighted at the fact Rangers drop points, their closest challenge to going into the weekend. Celtic go and do the same, losing at home to Hibs, as you mentioned earlier, Roger, for the first time since 2010 in the league. 2 defeats in a few days now for Celtic, first under the league, obviously under Martin O'Neill. It's been coming though, hasn't it, Boyd? We've been talking about that for the past few weeks.
Martin's a shrewd cookie. He knows exactly what's been going on. I think after the Kilmarnock game, yes, the Celtic fans, and all you heard, that's what champions do, and that was the chants, and that's all we heard for for that period of the Kilmarnock game up until they were brought back down to earth against Stuttgart on the Thursday night. You can't keep getting away with it. It's impossible. The performances, I think Martin said after the game, we can't keep relying. They deserve a lot of credit for keeping going, and that's exactly what they do. They do deserve a lot of credit for they've kept going for a number of months now. But eventually it catches up with you. No disrespect to Kilmarnock, no disrespect to Livingston. They're the two teams that's at the bottom of the table, and that's why Rangers will be so disappointed dropping points there yesterday as well. Celtic, especially at home to Livingston, should have wiped the floor with them. That would have been a chance. Martin would have been going into that looking and thinking, here's a chance to get 3-4 and 3-4 goals, close that goal difference. Wasn't to be. Find a last-minute goal. Kilmarnock, the exact same. Performance first half, absolute woeful. Makes changes, gets back into it, wins the game. All of a sudden, you then go up a level on a Thursday night, embarrassed at home. Then you've got a team coming to Celtic Park whose record is as bad as anyone going there. And for Hibs to go get the result, I know there'll be people moaning about referees' decisions there as well. But I think in the back of Martin's mind, he would have knew this has been coming.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. There's real problems. They were exposed by Stuttgart, who are a very good team, on Thursday night. And just the mood music, if you like, around the club isn't great. Brian Wilson's statement Friday night, and I don't think anyone is surprised that Hibs went and won at Celtic Park yesterday. And that's a big surprise, that no one's surprised. They're a decent team, they're fifth in the league, they're no mugs, and they've gone there and they've won the game. And it's a lovely finish by Kai Andrews for the goal. It was a deserved win. I think Auston Trusty should have been sent off. I think they've called it right. The Liam Scales win, I always think that's a strange rule. You can hold the shirt as long as you don't hold the shirt too long. I think it's one of those, if the referee gives it, I don't think it's getting overturned. And when the referee doesn't give it, it's difficult to overturn just with the kind of wording. The wording of the rule isn't great. So you can see why it wasn't given. Equally, you wouldn't have argued if it had been given.
No, I think it's a stonewall a little bit.
But it wasn't given. And the problem is now roll over because Auston Trusty will miss the Old Firm League game at Ibrox on Sunday, and Celtic they've got to go to Germany. They're affected out the Europa League, but they've still got to go. He can't change the team around probably as much as you would like. A lot of the newcomers aren't in the European squad. What does he do on Sunday? Is it Benjamin Arthur? Is it Dane Murray? If so, does Dane Murray play on Thursday? Benjamin Arthur can't play on Thursday. He's not in the European squad. They're now in a situation. Schmeichel, again yesterday, didn't look in a good place. Hatate's out the team, and so he should be. Maeda out the team, and so he should be. We've even reached the point, our colleague David Friel was in the Super Scoreboard phone-in last night, the Celtic caller saying Callum McGregor should never play for the team again. Wow. This is where Celtic are at the minute. People are making ridiculous statements like that, but it's going to be, the next 2 weeks for Celtic will be season defining.
I agree with what you're saying there in terms of the season defining and in terms of the team. But going back to the incident on Scales, for me, it's a penalty kick. I mean, you can see, and I know it's it didn't have it for long enough, but there's enough there for that ball. I'm not saying it's going right on his head, but it's going to be in and around an area where Scales is going to. For me, it's a penalty kick. The Trusty one is a red card. You cannot lift your hands the way he did and punch someone in the arm. And people will say, he's just swatting away, you shouldn't be holding him. That's what happens in an area. You'll get close to people. That doesn't give you the right to turn around and lift your arm and smash it into someone else's. It's a red card all day long. Absolutely no complaints about that. But the one, if I was Celtic, I would be complaining about was the tug or the pull on Scales.
Certainly comes into the category you've seen them given.
I think it's a penalty kick. I do. I think it's a penalty.
I mean, do you think all that can be is the referee saying to the VAR in his microphone, I've seen there's a tug, but as you said, It hasn't lasted long enough. The VAR looks at that and goes, I can't argue those pictures.
That's exactly what's happened. That's exactly what's happened.
So you obviously touched on the Old Firm game at the start of this particular conversation earlier, and how season defining it's going to be. Do you sense whoever loses this one, maybe with a particular eye on Celtic, their season could implode from here?
Well, I mean, I think whoever loses it's done, finished for me. It's changed now. As I said, I fully believe Hearts will get the 3 points against Aberdeen on Thursday. On Saturday. And I think Rangers or Celtic have to win the game to stay in contact now. That weekend there is a major slip up from both of them. One of them needs to win the game, Hearts.
Yeah, Hearts will. Derek McInnes will be praying for a draw, won't he? Absolutely praying for a draw, which you couldn't rule out. And by the way, I know, listen, I've listened to James McFadden go on about it for a number of weeks now as well. I think with the fixtures coming up as well, Motherwell will go to Celtic Park in a couple of Saturdays as well. Then they go to
Tynecastle as well. The way they're playing, you couldn't rule them out, but in the mix as well.
I'd count them in the title race now.
No, I don't, and I genuinely, because I don't think they can catch Hearts for 10 points. I don't think they can catch Hearts for 10 points. They've still got Celtic and Hearts to play. Yes, that could then suit Rangers because they could all take points off each other as well, and that's why I think Rangers have still got a really, for me, I still think they'll win the league. But looking at it, Motherwell, I think it's too big to claw back the points on both Rangers, Celtic and Hearts. But at the same time, they're going to have a huge say in where this goes.
The other form team, of the four, I don't think they'll win the league. I think all those draws early in the season when they were just getting
gelling together.
I think that will ultimately cost them. They've left themselves too much to do. I don't think they can win the league. But they can have a huge say in who does win the league because of the four teams, they are the form team. You saw them 5-0 in Paisley on Saturday night in front of Sir Alec Ferguson. Nobody's got a better goal difference in Motherwell. You look, Celtic have lost 7 league games, Hearts have lost 4 league games. Motherwell have only lost 3. The fact that we're discussing Motherwell in a championship conversation in the last week in February is astonishing. Askew has done a remarkable job. And, people say enjoy him while he's there. I think Liam Gordon said it in an interview last week. And he's quite right, because people will be looking at him. Don't be surprised if Celtic are looking at him.
I think if there's one regret for Motherwell in this period of time where they've been excellent, would be Wednesday night. I don't understand why he changed the team. I really don't. I don't understand why. I get the fact that he's done it in the past. He's got away, but it's a Scottish Cup game. Aberdeen are the holders. It's at Pittodrie. The pitch was, and you're looking at.
And they could. We're saying they can't win the league. They could have won the Scottish Cup.
Let's not be kidding here. Hibs and Hearts are gone.
Yeah.
Rangers and Celtic, one of them's gone. You're then looking at it saying, Rangers or Celtic don't want to play Motherwell.
And Motherwell would have put out the holders.
They don't want to. They don't.
Done it properly.
So that for me,
big mistake.
Big mistake. I get the fact that he might think, we've still got an opportunity in the league. They've got to believe they have. But as you say, Roger, that was a genuine opportunity to get silverware for Motherwell. It was a definite chance to get back, to Hampden as well, where they let the fans down the last time against St Mirren. Yes, they would have had another game to overcome if it was Dunfermline. Would have been Dunfermline, which would have been a difficult game, but there's got to be regrets for not fielding your strongest team at Pittodrie on Wednesday night.
Speaking of big mistakes that one of you said not too long ago, Richard King's red card in that game against Motherwell on Saturday. What on earth can you say about that one?
Listen, I think at the time, so he's thrown his hand back. The referee on the field has decided that it's a red card.
Guided by his fourth official, because the referee's back to the answer.
It's not a red card. I don't think he's made contact with him. And I know VAR will then, they'll be getting criticised for not overturning it. I kind of look at it and think, I think it was Nick Walsh in VAR. I don't think he's got a clear picture to show that there wasn't any contact.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a VAR protocol thing.
And you can't re-referee the game and say, you can't guess.
The on-field decision, rightly or wrongly, given by the fourth official to the referee, is that Richard King is guilty of violent conduct, striking Callum Slattery. Callum Slattery goes down. It then goes to the VAR, Nick Walsh. My understanding is there was no conclusive video footage available to Nick Walsh enough to overturn the on-field decision. So he had to go with the on-field decision. Therefore, King was sent off.
It's wrong. I mean, it is wrong. It is wrong. But we cannot, or certain people cannot moan about VAR re-refereeing games every single week. Yeah. And then you can't then take a stab in the dark and guess something that...
I mean, we don't know. Could he have caught... It looks bad for Callum Slattery. Could Richard King have caught him with a nail in the eye? Now, it's not violent conduct, it's not a red card, even if he does catch him like that. But is that why Callum Slattery went down? Has he just been caught?
It's all ifs and buts. We're sitting here discussing it's all ifs and buts. Nick Walsh is sitting there and he's not got clear evidence.
And he's bound by the rules.
Say, 100%. He's bound by the rules. 100%. But I tell you what, if, again, I look at it, and our referees, not only on the pitch, off the pitch, in terms of the VAR, are getting criticised on a daily basis. There's got to be a responsibility for players. If Callum Slattery hasn't been touched, and I'm just saying, if he hasn't been touched, he cannot go down holding his face and rolling around like that. That's only if he hasn't been touched. As Roger says, there might have been a slight, you know, as you said, it could have been a nail, it could have been anything, and that would have been enough to put him down. I've nothing, you know what I mean? If that's been the case, then he's every right to go down. But if he hasn't, then the roles and responsibilities of players on the pitch, and as you say, King, you're running the risk when you throw your hand away back like that as well. So I think also referees will get criticised for some things, and rightly so, they'll get criticised for things that they've made mistakes with. But I also think players need to have a better, the roles and responsibility when they go onto the pitch as well, to act professional. And if, as I said, I'll say it again, if he has been touched, then he's every right to go down. But if he hasn't, don't be rolling about the pitch.
You ever booked for diving?
Never.
No.
As good as Motherwell were in that game, a bruising evening for St Mirren. We seem to be talking about this on a weekly basis. The situation seems to be getting worse and worse. Coupled with Kilmarnock on the Sensei, big point for them, late goal from Marley Watts, Dundee United. It does seem as these weeks go on, you do kind of have to fear more and more for St Mirren.
100%. You look at from where they were a couple of months ago, delivering silverware for the club and deserved all the plaudits that they got. And we were speaking about, I think they had a few games in hand then as well. And I think we're looking at it saying, St Mirren will get away from this. They'll still have a challenge to get into that top six, which would have been unbelievable. That would have been 4 seasons in a row that we've managed to deliver top six football for the football club. But since then, I mean, I know they won the next game after the cup, didn't they? I think they won that, and then they went on a run. Yes, they beat Hearts, but they went on a run where you're like, oh my days. I mean, they've just plummeted down the table. I think Kilmarnock, looking at it under Neil McCann, didn't play great at Tannadice on Saturday. Came away with a point.
They've got the momentum, don't they?
Yeah. They've got John Joe's been injured. It's a huge blow for Kilmarnock. Livy St Mirren this weekend.
I know. Yep.
Livy will be looking at it saying, if we can get a victory here as well, we can then start to pull them back.
Yeah.
So I think the two Dundee teams will have enough. Dundee, Stephen Presley, get criticised at the start of the season, get criticised. I mean, what was that, their first victory there since 2004 as well?
Yeah.
The league. Incredible. Yeah. So Stephen Presley, I think at the start of the season, a lot of people were critical of him, a lot of performances.
There's no way Aberdeen gets sucked into this, is there?
No.
But up until the last 2 weeks, I thought Dundee United might get sucked into it.
Yeah.
They go and win at Falkirk.
Yeah.
They probably should have beaten Kilmarnock.
Yeah.
And, before Marley Watts.
But I tell you, Aberdeen need to get a grip. Again, I mean, I'm sitting here and you feel as if, that's what, 51, 52 days now since.
They're not going to appoint a manager. Dave Cormack said as much yesterday. We're going to wait to the summer, so it is.
It's not as if it was just a surprise that you had to sack Jimmy Tillene at one point as well. I mean, this has been in the go for months.
But seasons can unravel very quickly. I remember Terry Butcher's Hibs that were going to be in the top 6.
Yeah.
They missed out in the top 6 on the last day, match day 33. And then they went into free fall. They ended up 11th and they lost to Hamilton in the playoffs.
I remember it well. Remember the match day 38? What was the score that day? They'll test your knowledge.
For who?
Hibs, match day 38.
They lost.
To who?
Kilmarnock.
Goal scorer.
Boyd.
Yes, that's good knowledge. Who crossed the ball?
I'm not too sure.
Playing junior football now.
I didn't really pay attention.
Playing junior football now.
Playing junior football?
Yes.
No. Go for it.
Ross Barber.
Ross Barber, then.
Whipping.
I didn't watch it cross because I'm sure you would miss it, so I didn't really think
Oh,
it was.
come on, friend.
I didn't think it was like a point of contention.
It was an exhibition of finishing. Some striker.
Yeah, great goal.
Is that the year you topped the scoring charts for Kelly, that one?
What was that?
Was that the year you topped the scoring charts for Kelly, that one?
I'd just like to hear it saying there twice. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But Aberdeen, as you mentioned, that was 7 new signings that started that game. I mean, you talked a lot about the fact
I think Roger made a good point.
Trying to do
it was either last week or the week before. It was the start of it, or the transfer window had shut, maybe the week after the week, and there was like 5 or 6 debutants. That's not right.
Can't do it.
That's not right in the middle of February. It's not right. There has been problems at Aberdeen now for, I would say, well over a year. They'll turn around and say, we'll deliver the Scottish Cup, and they did. Fair play to them. But the problems were well before that as well. And they backed the wrong horse for me, Jimmy Tilling. Yes, no doubt in it. He delivered the silverware, he delivered the Scottish Cup, first time in 30 odd years, fantastic, well done. You can come back in years and celebrate that. But the decline in Aberdeen and the money they've spent for a number of months now is alarming.
We're seeing they don't get sucked into it. They're at Tannadice tomorrow night, Tuesday
What's
night.
the points right now?
I think they're in 28.
They're on 28, yes.
So, Tannadice tomorrow night.
25.
What's Kelly?
21.
21. They were 20.
23, St Mirren.
Yeah. So, Tannadice, would we bet Aberdeen getting anything at Tannadice, having just lost at home at Dundee? You can make an argument. They then go to Tynecastle on Saturday, and they're at home to Celtic next Wednesday night. It's a difficult run of games before they go to Dunfermline in the Cup.
Yeah, I mean, when you say it like that, then there is an opportunity. But you know, I just look at Aberdeen right now and the money that has been spent and continuously been spent.
Listen, that's an irrelevance.
It's
incredible. They spent loads and loads of money. They brought in loads and loads of players, and look where they are.
No, I totally get that.
You've seen the changes that they've made. The week that Peter leaving threw in the 6 or 7 newcomers, I couldn't really argue with the selection because I'd seen them in the previous game at Kilmarnock, and I would have tried to get 11 newcomers, never mind 6 or 7. They were so bad at Rugby Park. But they haven't really got the kick on. You're losing, I know it was with 10 men, but you're losing at home at Dundee. The lad Morrison's now going to be suspended, isn't he, for tomorrow night at Tannadice?
Yes.
They just keep shedding goals. Kevin Nisbet's actually playing well. 2 good goals, great free kick against Dundee at the weekend. He's playing well. He scored, I think, the week before as well. He's looking okay.
Scored against Motherwell as well.
That was it. But
free kick.
You know, you can't have Kevin Nisbet scoring 2 goals every week if the defence is losing 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think you might have convinced me they could get dragged into it. You've done a good job there. Yeah.
For the sake of conversation.
Aberdeen fans, what do you think? He's going to get dragged into this?
Oof. They'll love you for asking that question directly, won't they?
Oh, interesting.
Just a very last word in that game, Ethan Hamilton's goal.
Oh, incredible.
In the word of his manager, not bad for a guy playing for a job A team, eh?
Yeah.
Absolute cracker.
Great goal after his great goal at Celtic Park. Very quietly, Stephen Presley actually seems to be getting them together. I've seen him a couple of times recently. He had a difficult start, just basically dealing with the kind of hand that was dealt to him at the start of the season. But a lot of the guys he's brought in, Cam Congreve's been terrific. Yeah. Ethan Hamilton's been terrific. We're seeing a bit more out of Tony Yogan on the left-hand side now. They look fine. They do look fine. They will be okay as long as the goalie calms down.
No, yeah.
The goalie's in a couple of
weeks now. Yeah. Just very last thing. Prediction for Sunday, Rangers Celtic. You thought about it enough yet?
3-1 Rangers.
3-1 Rangers. Still backing them to win the league.
Yep.
I heard you saying that earlier. There we go. Interesting. Well, thanks for coming in.
What do you think?
Oh, I'm just here to ask the questions.
No. Don't sit on the fence now with your wee iPad. What do you think?
I'm just a
score.
It's not a real iPad, it's a team.
Score.
Oh. 3-0 Rangers.
3-0? And your league title winner is?
Hearts.
What are you saying, Roger?
For Sunday?
Yes.
I actually think Rangers will win the game. I don't think it's going to be quite as emphatic as you boys think. A 1-0 or a 2-1 wouldn't surprise me. I think the fact that Rangers have got this clear week, the fact they're at home, the fact they whacked Hearts last time out at home with the 4 goals, the fact that Celtic have just lost back-to-back games with the best will in the world, they're probably going to arrive at Ibrox having lost 3 in a row, you would imagine. To use the phrase used earlier, the mood music around Celtic isn't good at the minute. I suspect Rangers might narrowly win on Sunday.
And your title winner?
You couldn't make a call. Genuinely, people keep asking me. You just
Well, this week, who do you think?
You just make it. I haven't made a prediction at all. I think you make a fool of yourself.
What are you getting paid for then? You can't come on these.
I'm getting paid for running the sports department at Scotland's top-selling news brand.
So what's your answer then?
I'll tell you.
Come on.
It's written down.
No. You're in here now. You're in here now as a pundit. You're in here now as a pundit. Who's going to win the league?
The answer is in a brown envelope sealed and matched up the rocks.
Oh, you sound like Brendan Rodgers when he was back at Liverpool there with the envelopes.
Been there since the start of August. I'll open that up the last day of the season to see who's got it right. Let me tell you something though. When I send Robert Grieve to a title decider between Hearts and Motherwell, who don't know what's happened.
Oh, Roberto, he always gets it, doesn't he?
Saw him today, didn't you?
Yeah, I was surprised. He must have had something on when he was in the office on a Monday. And I'm hearing he's away to Stuttgart Celtic as well. He's always on the road, that man. He's a busy man.
You on the road again this week? Is it a quieter one for you?
A quietish one. I will. Soccer Saturday. Next week's busy. Next week's busy. I don't think I'll be able to make an appearance in the office next week, next Monday. I'm a busy man.
We'll come to you. We're in the Tarbolton branch office next Monday.
Right, well, if you want to go to London, then to Aberdeen, then feel free. But I'll only... In fact, I might come in if you tell me who's going to win the league.
Okay, we'll think about it.
I think that'll do us. Huge week in the YouTube channel coming up with that big game on Sunday, obviously. First of 2 Old Firm games in the space of a week. Set piece, will be looking at that as one-on-one continue with Derek McGregor as well. Then we'll have all the coverage of a huge weekend right back here on Go Ballistic next Monday. See you then.